My parents both came from very, very humble beginnings in Texas. My dad was born in Cottonwood, Texas, which is a tiny, tiny town in West Texas. His father was the teacher and superintendent of the Cottonwood School, which was a 2-room school. There was no money for college. They did not have indoor plumbing. They worked all the time. He picked cotton many, many summers to help the family earn money. He was the youngest of 7 children. My mother lived in Waco, Texas, and she also was from pretty humble background, and she worked her way through babysitting through Baylor University, and she was a teacher. They played pickup basketball when they could get enough kids to play in Cottonwood. And then when he went to Texas A&M, the football coach training for winter conditioning for his football players. Dad said he lined up all the basketball players and, what's your grade point average? What's your GPA? And my dad had a 4.0. He said, you're the captain. And Dad used to laugh and say he thought he was the only captain in the whole country who never started. They met on a blind date. They met under a live oak tree on campus. My dad has a great love for ice cream, and so he took her for ice cream. And my mother said that she thinks he fell in love with her when she just ordered vanilla ice cream, nothing fancy.
Well, Woody is a guy who wore a lot of hats. You know, he was first the chancellor, then the president, University of Nebraska, and then did great things with the foundation. And Woody was kind of a remarkable person. And I think one of the most remarkable things that I can think of about Woody and Paula was that I had a few dark days when we lost Oklahoma. And usually I'd be at home with Nancy and there'd be a knock on the door. And it would be Woody and Paula. I'm sure that a chancellor or a president had a lot of things on their plate, but they'd come over, and then eventually Woody would say a few things that were sort of humorous. I was not in a real good mood to be humored, but eventually we'd share a lot of laughs, and life would go on.
His unwavering support and loyalty to Tom, and how that over time built this extraordinary program we have in football. When you lose to Oklahoma for the 3rd time, and the word is around that you can't win the big game, and there's Woody and Paula, and they're there supporting you.
When they came, it was the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and then UNO and the Med Center. The 3 campuses were unified. But I think the Lead Center was one of his dreams always, to have a performing arts center on campus. I think the Lead Center was one of his most proud accomplishments, and my mother's too. He was 40 years old when he heard his first symphony orchestra, and it made a big impression on him, and he wanted to be sure that the people of Nebraska had that opportunity.
Well, I was in Washington, D.C., and he called me and we went to lunch. And he told me that he was stepping down as president of the university to become chairman and CEO of the University Foundation. And I thought that was great for the foundation, not so great for the university. So at that same lunch then, I said, how do you think you're going to organize this campaign? And he said, well, you know 48th Street? And I said, yeah, I've been gone that long, I know 48th Street. And he said, well, I'll take everything east in the United States and you take everything west. And it's kind of how we actually ran that campaign in the late 70s.
I would say that he was very happy with the work he could do at the foundation to raise money for the university and to meet lots more people out in the state. He loved talking to the farmers, ranchers, the people of the state, and my mother did too.
Integrity, honesty, compassion, those certainly were traits of Harlan Noddle, and they were Woody's and Paula's as well.
As a couple, I just can't think of better people that the foundation could honor.
My dad and my mother had a great knack for doing the right thing. It was an innate ability they had. They knew how to say the right thing, they knew how to do the right thing, and it was always very genuine. It was straight from their heart.
You know, I know that the amount of dollars in the foundation has grown exponentially since Woody was in charge of the foundation. But I would have to say that Woody was somebody who was foundational. He was somebody who set the table for lots of people later on to do better.